Hi, I'm Emma, LCA Specialist at Ecochain, and I'm going to explain to you how you can use the information that you're getting from an environmental impact database to select the right data points for your model. This is a super important topic as a lot of people get stuck trying to find the right reference, and it gets very frustrating and it costs a lot of time. So it's really important to know what information you're getting and how you can use it. This video is meant for beginning users of Mobius, and I'm going to use the t-shirt demo as an example. Previously I modeled this inventory, and now let's try to find some impact for this woven cotton fabric. First off, we of course always filter for the right database that we want to use. In this case, let's say that we want to use Ecoinvent 3.6. Okay, so let's try to find some woven cotton. Let's click on this. And now we end up with 11 references. And now of course the question is, what are the differences between these references and how can we spot them and make the right decision for our model? So the first thing we need to talk about is the structure of the name of these references in the database. Because you might have already noticed that the name of database references always exists of 3 parts. The first part that you should pay attention to is the second part of the reference, because this states the input or the material that you're getting from this reference. So in this case, that is textile woven cotton, and this input should match what you're trying to search, or it should at least be similar or representative. Next, we should pay attention to the first part of the name, which is the production process that is used to achieve this input or material. This is important because there's a lot of things that can be produced in multiple ways, and the production process actually has a lot of influence on the environmental impact of something. For example, here we have this woven cotton textile. This is produced by textile production, cotton weaving. But if we scroll down a little bit, we have an alternative, namely woven cotton produced by textile production, cotton airjet loom weaving. These are different processes, and they likely also have impact on the environmental impact of the woven cotton itself. The third part of the name, finally, is not very important because it just indicates the type of database that we're using. But actually we only have one type in here, so it will always be cut off, .u. So now we have looked at the name of the reference to get some information. But actually in light gray, below the name, there is some more information on this reference. The first part in the light gray is always the region for which this reference is representative. In this case, for example, Bangladesh. If it states rest of world, the dataset is representative of every region except for the specific region available. In this case, rest of world represents everything except Bangladesh. So that's almost the entire world. And finally, what you also often see is Europe or global. These are then representative either for Europe or for the whole world. Next to the region, you have the unit in which the reference is expressed. So in this case, that is 1 kilogram of mass. So the impact is per 1 kilogram mass. And finally, you see the Ecoinvent version or the database version that you're using. Well, if that information still is not enough, or you're still doubting whether this is the right one for you and you want some more information, you can always click on more information and you get a description of the reference here. Sometimes you have a big description, sometimes small, but it can give you some extra information to know what you're selecting and if it is the right one for you. Okay, so this is all great, but what we have just discovered is that we need to know how our material is made in order to select a representative reference. However, what if I don't actually have this information? So let's say that we're buying some textile from a distributor and we actually don't know where it is made, and we also don't know how it is made. So we don't know if it's made by either of these techniques that we have in the database. Then it's really hard to choose. So what I can then always do is use a market reference. So let's see if we can find one here. Let's type market. Okay, so here in the second one, we have the market for textile woven cotton. What this essentially means is that this reference represents an average for woven cotton around the world, with all kinds of different techniques used to make it, and also different places where it is made. If I don't have enough information, I can always use this and use kind of like a globally representative average for my products. This is a way to find a reference even if you don't have a lot of information. So in this video I explained how you can use the information in the database to determine whether a reference is the right one for you. If you run into any trouble selecting references, we have a lot of resources available, so please consult those. Good luck making your own LCAs in Mobius.